What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Cut the Crap. I'm your host, Christian, here with my main man, Steven and Rex. How's it going today, Rex?
Good, good. I don't know if anyone's noticed, but I'm feeling very patriotic. Uh, my Blue Jays hat that I bought to watch them lose 2-1 to the Astros yesterday.
The
Late
cheaters.
innings doesn't matter. Late innings, the Jays both had in 2 innings. I want to say maybe 8 and 7 or 6 or one of those even ones towards the end. Had bases loaded, two chances. Not asking for a grand slammy, right? But
Do
at least
something.
could have gotten a single RBI, at least
Mm-hmm.
you had two chances. That's all I'm saying. Y'all had two chances. That
We
was
did.
it. They got a ground rule double, I think. The Astros. That's how they got themselves up, and then they just went on with that. It was a more late scoring game, but it is what it is. It was cool though. The whole vibe, going baseball and stuff like that.
No, I feel you. I feel you. So that's what's up. And Steven, how you doing today, sir? Viva la Mexico. They got knocked out. I know you're sad.
The U.S. got knocked out too. Don't forget about
Yo,
that.
how is the U.S.
That was brutal.
hosting and their own soccer team can't even make it?
They made it. They didn't make it to the next round. But they got robbed though.
They did.
But
If anybody don't know, go check out the last game. There was a lot of penalties, a lot of red cards being thrown out, a lot of
nah, it
fights.
wasn't. What are you talking about, bro?
It was
wasn't.
it was
It was.
it was the red.
You talking about the one on Saturday?
Oh,
You talking about
Saturday.
the one yesterday?
Sorry,
They straight got. Was it? No, it was
it was.
last Wednesday. I think it was.
I'm talking about Saturday.
Um, no, it was Wednesday.
Oh,
But
okay.
anyways, regardless, the U.S. got robbed. But anywho.
Yep. U.S. got robbed. His other team, the Lakers, ended up signing his LeBron's son Bronny, wearing number 9 this season in honor of Juice World. Still don't
Is it?
understand that. That's what he said. Yeah, I was like,
Did
what?
he?
Yeah, he said
You
it in
need
the
to
press
send
conference.
me.
I'll send it to
I
you.
need to. Okay, I need
Yeah.
to see
It's
that
on
because
ESPN.
that's a very, very interesting.
Yeah, I said the
It's
same thing. I
very
was like, what?
interesting.
I thought he was gonna say, oh, because my dad was sick, so I reversed it, this and that. No,
Yeah.
he said he's wearing 9 to honor Juice World. I was just like, all right. So yeah, interesting. Anyways, we're gonna jump into today's topic here, guys. I got a nice one for you, nothing too crazy, but I wanted to bring it up because we have mentioned it before. And it's about human addiction. All right. And the addiction problems that we have as humans. There's a lot of ones that we have. So straight off the back, sorry about that. Human addiction, we had talked about it slightly in a different topic, and we said we were gonna hit on it more, but human addiction is a really big thing. People are addicted to many different things, right? We got people addicted to drugs. We got people that are addicted to soccer, Steven. We got people that are addicted to sports, general. There's harmful addiction and then there's non-harmful addiction, right? People addicted to porn. You got people addicted to fucking cars, and there's so many different things.
You can get addicted to anything. Um I think humans just have an innate ability to attach themselves to inanimate objects or things of that nature, and their brain just goes wild once they just lock it in.
Yeah, man. I mean, another big one that is like a trending topic for parents that you always hear them saying, "Oh, your kids are addicted to video games." I know what my son definitely is. Like, we cut him off today and was like, "Yo, you gotta take a break." And I swear to God, I thought he was about to. The youngest was cool. The oldest, though, I thought he was gonna have a meltdown.
You talking about CJ?
Yeah.
CJ?
Bro, he didn't know what to do with us. Like, play some board games. Let's do this. Let's do it. Like, he was losing it. So, I just wanted to talk about it because it is different. It addiction is very strong and people don't realize it. But addiction, my biggest thing with addiction is the health impact that it can cause. Because health addiction can, or not health addiction, but right, any type of addiction can cause health, impact. It can cause serious physical, mental health issues. Cause substance abuse for people that can't get off the drugs. Can lead to chronic diseases and stuff like that, such as like you can have heart disease, liver disease, kidney, respiratory problems for smokers. And then also various mental health disorders. Like I said today, like I could tell by seeing CJ's face, like seeing him, like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? Like, it's a problem, and it's something now that we got to discuss on how we're gonna cut him back to get him out of that addiction. But you know, what's your thoughts on it, Rex? What do you think about addiction?
Yeah, kind of the same thing what you're saying, right? Like, it all depends. I mean, you use the word like addict. There's normally never really a good this connotation, even when you call someone like a car addict or whatever. When you normally attach like, like the word addict, it's normally comes with a negative connotation. But again, like I said, we are people of means and we like what we like. And like you said, whether you indulge in gambling, drugs, drinking, um, video games. I think where it stems from is when people start telling you that you have a problem. And I mean, of course, there's certain things where it's like very like obvious, but then there are other things where I think people may have they may come to their own conclusion about how they feel about something, when in all cases that like they're not, because they're also not a doctor, so they can't, you know, prescribe or not prescribe, but deem somebody is an addict just because of the patterns and behaviors they may have come across. So I think,
Mm.
we just have to be very choosy about that, because there are like serious things, right? Like I'm like a firm believer. I don't think Michael Jordan was addicted to gambling. I just think that he was a man of means and he understood stakes to higher level, being that the caliber player that he is. But, people the other way deemed it as such. And, you know,
So you don't
that's
think
it. Like,
he
again,
was addicted to gambling? You're saying?
no, I think he definitely like enjoyed it to a higher level. But I think addiction is where for me, addiction
Mhm.
is where you put that over something else. Like, it's like, you got to eat, but this money's for groceries, and now I just spent my groceries on X addiction. Now there's a
Ah,
lot
okay,
of
I see what you mean.
turmoil, there's a lot of things that, like, then the negative repercussion, because you chose to use that instead of doing something else, right? Like, it wasn't like he was like homeless or he was a man of without means, right? Like, the real addiction part, like, and with anything, right? And then it goes into interventions, but I know we're just talking about like just addiction itself, right? But addictions itself to me is just that, like, when you choose whatever your source is and you put it over the thing that you're supposed to do, right? Like, if it has something to do with money and you chose that to do over money, maybe you had an appointment, and you chose to, do something else instead, do your addiction instead, right? So it's when you're supposed to, you set up appointment, you have a doctor's appointment, you need to go, and then you chose addiction instead, right? Or this is your job, you're supposed to go to your job, you miss your job or you miss an interview, something that could change your life, and you choose it over that. Like, to me, that is an addiction, because you are addicted to whatever it is, and you are so addicted that you choose, the quote unquote right thing to do over it.
Yeah. No, I agree. Steven, question for you on addiction. They always say it's the dopamine and the effect that they get. Right? Do you feel that that's an excuse for them to have an addiction? Like, can they channel that elsewhere?
I'm gonna go with what Rex said. I agree with that. As long as I mean, there's different levels to addiction, but if it's not interfering with like your livelihood and you surviving, I guess that's when I would sound no alarms. But we're all addicted to something to some extreme, whether it be, your cell phone, just going out
TikTok.
for a drive. And it could be anything, because addictions can be coping mechanisms, but it
But
just
do you feel like taking one addiction and substituting for another is a good way to go, or what do you think about that? Because some people always say,
it,
take your addiction from one and try to channel to something else. You go. I'll let you go next, Rex.
it it literally, I mean, it just depends on, like, again, what it is. Um, heroin versus, a cardio addiction, two different extremes.
Yeah.
You two different extremes, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you really you're that type of person where you get pissed off and you go run a marathon, good, nobody's gonna get mad at you and be like, that's fucking psycho. Went out and ran a marathon. But if you go out and shoot up heroin, now you're a, whatever the term, a crackhead or whatever it is. What are heroin
It's funny
people
you
call
say
themselves?
that though, but there's a YouTuber I follow that his wife actually does get mad at him because that's all he does is run marathons. So he's always training to run those marathons. So he's always out the house. So it's funny, like you say that, oh, nobody get mad at you running a marathon, but depending on how you take that addiction, you may get in trouble with your other half if you have one or people like
and
that.
and that's why I say it boils down to when you mess up your normal life, the quote
Mhm.
unquote norm life, where you choose because you're making that choice, right?
Yeah.
Like, they don't really say that with like I would say, I guess in this sense, like LeBron and his wife. Is he addicted? They don't really deem it as such because, from Savannah standpoint, they don't make a big hoot and holler out of it. Versus as you got like the Currys, where his wife would be a little bit more vocal about some of the things that he has done, and she's gone on her little media run about blase blase and stuff like that, right? So, but
Hmm.
to answer back with the dopamine, right? You see, they say that when you're trying to break a habit, because your habit is built out of free time.
Hmm.
So for me, when I used to smoke cigarettes, um,
Really, I didn't know
when
that.
I was yeah, 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 yeah. It feels like it's been forever, but yeah, but anywho,
That
back at my security back what's up?
that's the one. That's one of the ones I don't understand, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. That is an addiction. That, yeah, I'm a social smoker. Like, bro, if,
Mhm.
if you going through it and, like, not here in Florida because it's too hot, but, like, if you're in New York or Canada and it's cold outside and you're going by yourself, like, because you're stressed, I'll accompany you. But, bro, that that's an addiction, dog. Because especially be out there in negative whatever weather, man. But, like, I don't, that's one I just don't understand. Like, what is the effect on it? Because it doesn't get you high, it doesn't get you drunk. I
So,
don't.
like, the best thing that I can say, and this is from, again, experience, is that your addiction can come from anything. It
Mhm.
can come from a good situation, a bad situation. Now, how it came to be for me to start smoking cigarettes, um, it was what made it okay in my brain, and then the actual time that I actually did is a huge gap difference. So as a kid growing up, I want to say anywhere in elementary school. So let's say from kindergarten to grade 6, push it to grade 7. You know what? Fuck it. Let's throw in middle school. Let's go to K to grade 8. In between then, I used to go to
Mhm.
Montreal all the time to go see my grandparents. My grandparents, they live in Montreal. So now for all my French speakers and my Europeans out there, smoking is the lifestyle out there. It is, right? Just that's just part of the European culture, in especially in those regions. Anywho, so I used to go there all the time. They smoke in the house. House smells like cigarettes, whatever, whatever. Now I love my grandparents, so whenever I'd leave their house and go to my dad's,
Mhm.
um, my clothes would smell of it. And I used to have like a real bad stepmother, like I got a Cinderella stepmother. So, like, having the clothes that she didn't like because it smelled like smoke, was very comforting to me, and which was the smell of cigarettes. So that became a sense of comfort. And then I went to first year in college. I remember wanting to celebrate, doing your first year, you make it, smoke a cigar. And then that kind of point on from, I guess, 18 to 25, I had that like kind of tobacco run. But that's essentially where it had started from, right? Like it was started off as like a memory and like a as like a to kind of calm you down, especially as a child then when it was rough, to then, like you smoked before you had it, and then I just transitioned. And then
Okay.
eventually I stopped, right? But again, it's how I stopped is I traded well, I didn't trade anything. I just stopped. Um I broke the habit just by replacing it. So I actually just drank a lot of green tea. Or like if what's his name? Oh my gosh, the guy from Fast and Furious. He was always eating fruits in Fast and Furious 3.
The Han.
Han,
Oh,
yes. Right? Or what's his name character? Brad Pitt's character from Ocean's 11,
Right.
right? Like ex-smokers, they find something else
yeah.
to to cut the habit, because what happens is I would go on my patrols, and every time I end my patrol I would end up outside. So I'm like, oh, I have time, and then boop, you light one, you talk to somebody else, it's not always just you, there's somebody else, right? I used to work at one of the biggest buildings in Toronto, so I used to go on the roof and then like, look out in the morning, seeing sunrise in the morning, you just want to have a smoke. You like you just give yourself, your brain will give you a reason as to, yeah, let's go for it here. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
go for it here. But eventually you have to make that change, right? You got to go through something that's, like I want to,
Well,
change that. And so
I'm
I
actually
think that's
glad
how it
you
is.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that brings us to the next point of it, is how to break addictions, right? I looked up some stuff real quick on that, and there's 12 different things that pop up for it, right? So the first
Uh,
thing,
first step is admitting you have a problem.
look at that. Steven already knows. First thing first,
Yeah, because
acknowledge
I'm gonna
the
use,
problem. You have
I'm
to
gonna go
recognize.
ahead and use that. I'm gonna use that first step to actually go ahead and see myself out because of my addiction. I need to go watch my game now. Um, Sorry, listeners. I was over here waiting for about 2 hours with Christian. So,
Yeah, it was Rex's fault, but
um,
that was a good. Thank you, Steven. We appreciate that. While you exit your way out on this, he is right. First thing first is acknowledge the problem. Recognize and admitting that you have an addiction is the first crucial step towards recovery. So Steven recognizes his addiction. I appreciate it. For the people out there, if you have an addiction, definitely recognize it. That's very important. Rex, what you got to say on recognizing addiction?
I am the problem, and here's me.
Oh my God, get out of here.
It's me.
yeah,
It's me.
no, no. And before even saying that is honestly, and I don't need to know number two, but like honestly, just looking yourself in the face and rule out whatever inanimate object or whatever it is you're addicted to, and look, hey, you are part of the problem because you enable yourself. I don't even know if
That should
makes
be
sense
number two.
anymore.
That's not even up here. That's actually a really good one. Number two is actually
It goes.
seek professional help. It says consult with a healthcare professional, such as a doctor, therapist, or counselor who specializes in addiction, that they can help provide a diagnosis and recommend a good treatment plan to help.
What
But
kind of Canadian rehab is that you just suggested? First of all, that's an automatic setup for failure in the United States because that involves money and healthcare. Come on, man. You know
But
we're underinsured and have
rehabilitation?
more fucking
I
healthcare.
think
Hell yeah.
these problems they're looking at though is for more for people that are like on a more on like substance abuse, and I believe this is more
Yeah.
for people that like that, because I'm looking through this like you said, and actually number three is detoxification, so that automatically makes me for many substance.
Mhm.
There's treatment steps for detoxification, which is process of allowing the body to get rid of itself of the substance. This should be done under medical supervision, as withdrawal symptoms can be severe. And it's true. Some if you are addicted, any of our listeners addicted to any heavy drugs or anything like that, definitely seek a doctor, because I have seen people go through withdrawal symptoms, excuse me. And a lot of them try to go cold turkey and just drop out, and like it was bad for them. It's definitely helped. Um, they also have behavioral health therapy up here as well for engaging in therapy, such as um, cognitive behavioral health therapy can help you understand an underlying cause of your addiction. Um, I think that's just all around. That's a good one in general. We always talk about healthcare. I don't understand why mental healthcare is not free. Like that should be automatic free. Everybody should speak to a counselor. If you're not able to, freaking talk to you. If you are lucky enough to have an employer that offers it, look into it. I really feel everybody at least once a year should speak to a counselor. Just
Facts.
or speak to
I'm gonna go
Steven.
ahead and
Steven is a good listener.
I'm gonna go ahead and yeah. Most people probably wouldn't believe that, but I'm gonna use this to log out.
Yeah,
And
go ahead,
mental
brother.
health days are okay, bro. Tell your job to go fuck themselves one day, and take a Tuesday off. Have Ferris Bueller's day off. Go to the fucking movie.
Exactly.
It's okay to
Yeah.
You break.
all right.
He was exiting and he started breaking up. But what he was saying is take a mental health day. It's okay to leave and go have vacation for yourself and all that and take care of yourself, which is true. Again, people won't believe this about Steven, but Steven is a good person that you could talk to and just vent, and he'll sit there and listen and won't judge you, won't say anything. I know there's been times I've called him like, yo, we just got to talk about something, and I would tell him some, and not get too detailed about stuff, but just tell him stuff, and he just sit there and listen. And he'd be like, I'm here for you, man. What do you think you could do? Give me advice and stuff. So I give him with that. But behavioral health therapy, I mean, we talk about mental health so much on this podcast, and that's just because I truly believe in it, and it's definitely great to have that. Medication,
yeah.
medications on this list. I'm not a big fan of medication. I feel that's just a way of numbing your body. Again, but if you're going through detox for that, sometimes medication is needed.
I think you got to know yourself, and I think you got to be a real like super headstrong.
Yeah.
And not to say anybody like out there, like if you are feeling like wayward, you can lock in and really be in tune with yourself. I think really where it stems from, because the thing is like I've had the word thrown at me, but I know that's not the case, and I'm not being like, oh, like I'm not the problem. I just think that if you haven't been there, a lot of people that are giving advice have never been there themselves. So it's kind of hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just think that like, the bet all I can do is just say what I did. And I just said, you just gotta really lock in with yourself and be like, yo, I want to make this change. Like same way you see people that are like, I want to lose weight, I want to do this. Like, everything starts with the mind, right? So I know definitely like, when it comes to detoxing and other things, like you definitely should like look into it and figure it out if this will help you. You are definitely right about like certain medicines that will because everything's like scientific, right? So they believe with certain people in certain headspaces, um, they're like just like having chemical imbalances. So a lot of the medicine doesn't necessarily help balance. It kind of just neutralizes everything, right? So
Yeah.
as another reference that I like to give is that they try to treat you like a Bengal tiger, right? Like just dose you up, and you're not really you, right? And I think it's real. And shout out to all the people that have gone through stuff like that and know themselves and know like, yo, like this ain't me, and I think you got to go through a lot. You got to go through a lot, right? Like rehab, don't think it's just a one and done. Like if you have access to means, don't think it's just a one and done. You go in there and you're done. The only reason why it feels like that is because they take you out of an environment where those things are not around you, not easily accessible, right? But I think really the training is discipline, is being able to tell yourself you're not going to order, like if it's food, right? Like you're not going to order this, or you're not going to buy this, or you're going to save your money for this, or you're going to plan strategically, right? Because again, you know you're going to use your dopamine points as best as you can in whatever situation and however you feel. And I think really where the dopamine kicks in is just the justification in and giving yourself like self gratuity. So if you can learn to understand what that is and then move accordingly, I think that will help. And it's just baby steps, because just don't think that like I just gotta I remember turning 25 and I said, yo, uh I'm not gonna smoke cigarettes no more and do all this kind of stuff. I had to change a lot of stuff. Like I had to
Yeah.
change a lot of stuff, and it wasn't like the next day. I've done it cold turkey once before for 2 weeks just to see if if your boy can really do it. But that's the thing, right? Like and that time when I tested myself, I want to say I was like 18, 19, I want to say, right? And then when I quit was like 25. So it's like
Yeah.
you're gonna live your life. That's
You
the thing I
sure?
want to say, is that like some people, like they think it's a 2 week process. It's like, no, like you
No,
can
it's
start
not.
seeing in 2 weeks, but it's a forever thing,
And
right?
that's
So
good. That's a
once
good
you
point. It brings into
Mm,
the next one, which is develop a support group, and then lifestyle changes. Develop a support group. That's just, you got to have those close friends in you, your inner circle that we talk about. You're in the circle, you're out the circle. Rex has moved. No, he's in the circle. Let me stop playing. Rex has moved in the circle. So he's officially part of the circle of trust. He's in there. Um, Took him long enough, but he made it. So, that's great. That's how you have your inner people. And then the lifestyle changes, like you said. If you are gonna stop cold turkey, you got to make the lifestyle changes. Whether it's adapting to a different healthy diet, exercising regular, finding new hobbies or activities to get you into. That's a really big thing. Also, avoiding triggers. Identify what's triggering you and try to stay away from it. A lot of people, for smoking, for instance, like you, I know they smoke because they're stressed. And stress is a hard trigger not to get over. But I feel a lot of time the stress is just self-induced. Like, there's stuff you could do to make sure you're not stressed. So it really just depends on
yeah,
that.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
because at the end of the day, you're right. Like it's how you want to handle it. If you're a smoker and you're through and through, and you're like, I ain't gonna quit, like you're gonna just be like, oh, I'm stressed. Let me go have a smoke, because you've been classically trained. You just didn't wake up one day and were like, like, I'm gonna have a smoke because I'm stressed. You
exactly.
either seen it in a show, you learned it
Yeah.
somewhere, and then you now recreate that scene for yourself, right? So you just have to recreate something else, right,
Oh,
in that scene that you would do, right? So that's it.
yeah.
Simple. I mean, obviously easier said than done,
I
but
was about to say that's
yeah.
easier said than done, but it is there.
But in the realm, if you can follow those steps, 'cause like I said, it's not easy and it's not going to be in a day, but
Yeah,
having the right foundation of knowing yourself and doing what is right for you and beneficial, right, and doing those things like the self-love and self-care, it will work out. It will work out, and sooner than you actually think. Because at the end of the day, like you said, or like we're saying, is if you make it a lifestyle, it's a whole different ball game, right? Like if you say like you're losing weight just to lose weight, it's going to be, depending on who you are as a person, it's going to be hard. But if you're like, yo, like I'm just changing my life because I want a change, I want to do this, I want to do that, it's different, because you make it part of who you are. I know they say, not to make everything your personality, right? And that doesn't have to be a personality trait, but again, when you're doing something that's the beneficial for you, of course, go ahead, be be proud and put it first, right? And then let everything else come after that, because people are going to say what they're going to want to say at the end of the day. So as long as you're happy and you ain't bothering nobody, right, do what you got to do.
exactly. And then last but not least, they talk about self-care, which you kind of just hitting on. Prioritize your mental health, physical health through self-care practice like mindfulness, meditation, stress management techniques, and so forth. I know for me, a lot of people laugh and I don't care, but like something I do to like help when I'm stressed out, I like getting pedicures, bro. I go
Mhm.
relax, they rub on the feet, they clean it up, cut my nails, relaxing. I like taking walks. Walks are always good, relaxing. And then of course my close inner group of people that I could call and talk to about anything. So you know, just gotta find what works for you, what's best for you. If you are addicted to anything of those natures, you know, please, by all means, you need somebody to talk to or anything like that, feel free to reach out anytime on that.
Of course, yeah. We always here. Shoot, hit us up.
Yeah, and then not only that, if you live in the United States, there's a support center that you are able to call. It's in the US is 988. You dial that number, it'll get you to the crisis lifeline that can assist with addiction problems, help you try to find an addiction rehab center nearby, just get you going wherever you need it. And if you ever get to a place, you know, in your mental health stage where you ever feel like you need help and you just feel like life's not worth living, it is worth living, reach out to us directly and we will help you find any type of help you need and get you there, because I want to be clear, that should be always that should never even be an option. Not always, that should never be an option of doubt in your mind that you're not worthy and you want to go that route of taking your life. So if anybody's ever going through that or depression or anything like that and they don't know anybody they could talk to, you could talk to us anytime, 24/7. We're here for you and we'll help you get to the right people and get help you need. So just wanted to throw that out there. Anyways, guys, that's going to be the end of this episode. We appreciate you guys for listening and watching, like always, on YouTube. If you are watching on YouTube, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and hit that bell to get notified anytime new videos are out. If you need to send us a message, feel free to shoot us an email at cutthecrap with 2 P's, 1 at gmail.com. That's CUTTHECRAPP1 at gmail.com. I just drew a blank. Sorry about that. Or you can send us a message on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Discord, all at Cut the Crap there. And if you have our personal numbers, reach out to us as well. We'd love to hear from you. And if you have any concerns or questions, by all means, shoot us a call. We're here to talk to you and help you out. Till next time, you guys have a good one. For the Canadian people, happy Canada Day, Americans.
Hey.
4th of July coming up. And
y'all up next.
One day when you guys, yep, we're up next. Happy birthday to my mom. Shout out to her. She turned 60 on the 4th of July. The big
birthday, moms.
Hey. So anyways, guys, have a good one. Till next one. Peace.